welcome back. I'm Sachin Singh, and today we're going to take a look at the round 5 results of candidates and then the round 6 predictions. What we saw today was nothing, when I say nothing, nothing short of an amazing day of chess that happened with amazing amount of preparation that we see. And again, before we go forward, if you want to look at more analyses, more in-depth chess, I would recommend you go to Gotham Chess, Hikaru's channel. FIDE Chess does their own by Peter Swidler. So I think Peter Swidler does his recap. And you have like a Gadamid, you have a bunch of people who are covering everything. My point here is to talk about stuff that is a little bit more off the board, and sometimes even if it's on the board, it's more how the preparation or something very interesting that I saw, and nothing, not something like, hey, here he could have played this, he could have played that. That I think other people can teach and talk about much better than what I can do. So the first game, Pragnanda versus Andrei Yasipenko, started, and then they realized there's not, they didn't want to impress too much, and in a draw, really nice. Fabiano Caruana, again, kudos to this guy. Like, this guy found ideas in a very drawish opening, which is the Petrov. So Matthias Blumbaum in this one, I think you can see the whole board. Let me see. Yes, played a symmetrical Petrov, which is like a very drawish line, and in that he, after like messing up his own pawn structure, which is 0-0 position, he was able to bring out what's called an interesting position, and he had this really nice prep. So here the point is, you can put the bishop on almost any of on almost any of these squares, and or you want to do this because white has kind of given you the idea that you know what I want to do is I want to play like this. So this thing right here, can I? Okay. This thing right here is very important. So white one says, oh, you know what, I want to castle. On this side, black's like, you know what if I am able to, hold on, can I do this? No. Okay. What if I'm able to do this? Right? So black is basically saying, you know what, I will try to attack you on this side and then I'll push these pawns. But I want to play this. And this is what he kind of played on. The point was the moment you play this, I get to play f4. Now I basically get to put my queen here, and then not there, here, and then I can castle. And what this does is that this pawn is now a hook, and it becomes much easier for white to attack than for black to actually attack white. And that little moment actually caused a lot of problems later on. And funny thing, he actually played till checkmate. That is very interesting and very sportsmanlike of Matthias Blumbaum. But let's go back. So beautiful win, I think, by Fabiano Caruana with the amount of preparation and the depth that he, like the ideas that he found again. And these ideas again are not something that will win you the game on the spot, but these are like these long drawn small little nudges that can push. So beautiful prep, and beautiful prep by Yawakir Sindaro again, showing his Maran, which is very interesting. So d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, and here he plays c6. People have called this the triangle. It's also some sort of a Maran, and after e4 it becomes well, Licha says the Marshall Gambit in the semi-Slav defense. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a very sharp line because you're giving up a couple of pawns, and then you have to find like still keep things in touch. And in fact, here I think at some point here there is this interesting bishop c8 idea. No, sorry, bishop f8. That if you take, there's this mate. It's so beautiful. Levy showed this. It's not my idea, but Levy showed this in his recap. That's very interesting. So anyway, Hikaru had to find here, and here he spent like an hour and 7 minutes and some seconds. But here there's only one move that actually works, which is this one, and the other one is h4. So very interesting that like Hikaru wasn't able to find this, and Hikaru played I think the second move or something, and then it starts causing chaos against Hikaru really quickly, and then he ends up losing the game. But what an idea that Yaoki Sindaro brought to the table today, and he was able to beat Hikaru Nakamura with the black pieces, and he is at 4.5 out of 5, in which he has beaten, I think, Hikaru Nakamura, Fabiano Caruana, uh, R. Pragnanda, and Andrei Yesipenko, and then he is drawn against Matthias Bluebaum. Anish Wei had a like, nice draw. Gryachkina and Amuzichuk draw. Zujiner was able to beat Vaishali Ramesh Babu, and I thought that was likely on the cards to happen. And then Tanjangi Divadesh Mukha was expecting the draw. Katrina Lagno Bisara Subayeva, I was not very sure, but I think, I'm not sure what I said. Probably I predicted a win for Katrina Lagno. But good games again from that. I have not been able to look at them very deeply. I've been working on my day job today. But let's look at predictions for tomorrow. This is going to be interesting. This is tomorrow, so and then I think we have some time. No, we have two more rounds before the rest day. So we have round 6 and round 7 before the rest day. Tomorrow Fabiano Caruana plays Andrei Yesipenko. Andrei Yesipenko is really struggling in this one, and today got a draw, but I think he's not doing that well with the standings. We'll look at the standings really quickly after this, but I expect Fabiano to win tomorrow. Hikaru Nakamura versus R. Pragnanda is going to be interesting again. I think Prag might have some chances since Hikaru probably already feels that his last two games is out. And again, depends on what mindset Hikaru shows up with. So if Hikaru tries to fight, there's a possibility that he might end up losing the game. And if it, like if he's like, you know what, I just want to draw and I just want to like stop the bleeding, and I'll play this how I can. But then, if he genuinely feels this is his last chance of playing candidates and becoming the world champion, he really needs to step it up, and he needs to come up with a good idea. So maybe he'll like turn the screws on his seconds. Maybe he'll ask them to come up with an interesting idea, and I think so will Pragnanda. Pragnanda comes with a new idea every single game. So hopefully Hikaru comes up with something interesting, and then tries to make this into a game, and then hopefully wins. So this I think still is going to be a draw because like again depends on who's like how much intensity White tries with this one. Anish Giri versus Matthias Bluebaum is also going to be interesting because Anish Giri played VE today, and that is going to be very interesting. Since Anish Giri drew VE, Matthias Bluebaum, Anish Giri should try to push and go for a win. Now Matthias Bluebaum again is very well prepared, and he was funded by I think some organization. So he has said on an interview that he had no issues preparing for this tournament, which means he had probably access to the best of the best computers, and he also had like he has a good team behind him. So at least a couple of seconds, if not more. We know a couple of like all of them have brought a couple of people at least with them. With Fabio Kerala and I think Oparin, Hikaru, not sure. Prague usually has his own batch of seconds. I don't know who those are. Anish Giris are, I think, known a little. Not again very clear. Yavakir Sindarov and I mean I should know some of them. I forgot. But there's a whole group. So Prague and Reshali's team again, like they usually are seen at the breakfast table together. So it's sort of difficult to identify who's playing with, like whose team is whom. But anyway, so they're siblings. Anyway, I don't think we know much about others. I probably did. I forgot. So anyway, coming back to this Anish Giri, Matthias Blubum, I'm expecting Anish to push for it tomorrow. VE versus Avakir Sindorov is going to be a hot take. I think VE might be able to get some win tomorrow. VE is a strong player. He hasn't been able to show any of his opening preparation. But if this has to become like a tournament and Javakir cannot be allowed to run away with this. So hopefully, again, tomorrow Wei comes up with something interesting, and I think tomorrow might be like the chance to strike. And it feels like Wei usually strikes when you don't really expect him to strike. So I'm expecting a Wei win tomorrow. I'm expecting three white wins and a draw. And then Zhu Jinner versus Anna Muzichuk is going to be a very interesting match to watch because Zhu Jinner has won the two of the last two games after losing to. Who did she lose to? Katrina Lagna? Or no, Katrina Lagna beat Tanjangi. So I think she lost to Alexandra Goryachkina. Bibisara Subayeva. Oh no, she lost to Bibisara Subayeva, I think. But yeah, anyway, so Zudina lost 3 rounds ago, but she's won the last 2 rounds. So she's really on a hot streak. Hopefully, Anna Muzichuk is just able to hold, like, just trying and play solid and just not like push too hard and hold. So I expect there are chances for Zujiner to win tomorrow. Again, with the white pieces, very strong. But I also expect Anna to hold. So let's call it a difficult draw for Anna, but I think that's going to be it. Tanjangi versus Alexandra Goryachkina is very typical, like, of a Tanjangi match, which she has white. She'll probably over push, end up getting ending up in a little bit of problems. But I think here Alexandra Goryachkina has some chances, so I'll say Alexandra wins there. Katrina Lagno versus Vaishali Ramesh Babu, very interesting match again. I think here Vaishali lost 2 games ago. I think today she was able to. No, today she lost. No, didn't she? No. Today she lost to Sujiner, didn't she? So she might want to like plug the bleed and go for a draw. So she might just play a very solid line tomorrow, hopefully. But again, no points to come in second. So you have to push for the win. Maybe not. Maybe you just still want to stop bleeding. So let's say a draw there. And then Bibisara Subaya versus Dev Deshmukh, again a very very interesting match there. And I think this one probably Subayeva wins. She lost today, so she might also just want to stop the bleeding and go for a draw. So tough. Let's say a draw here. So let's say Anna Zujiner draw. Tanjangi Alexandra Goryachkina wins. Katrina Lagno Vaishali Ramesh Babu. Maybe Katrina has a chance, but let's call it a draw. And then Bibisara Subayeva and Devi Deshmukh also draw. So 1 win in the women's, and then 3 wins in on the open boards. That's what my predictions are for tomorrow. I'll see you sometime tomorrow again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.